In this video, I'm going to be checking out the iEngrave laser diode machine by LokLik. It's feature-packed, easy to use, and budget-friendly. Welcome to the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and this is the iEngrave. It's a full-featured, efficient laser engraver that is fast and quiet, making it perfect for crafting, DIY projects, and businesses personalizing their products. We're going to get started by getting this unboxed so that we can check out how well it's packaged, along with all the included accessories. And the first thing that's on top is this envelope. Let's check out what's inside. Inside the envelope are going to be several cards. The first one is going to be the warranty card for the machine, followed up by some information just generally on the brand name LokLik. And there's also another brief informational card that has a QR code to join the community on the LokLik family of products. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, in my opinion, is the card that shows everything that is included with the machine. I'll place the cards off to the side for now, and let's start checking out some of the packaging for the iEngrave. And first of all, I've got this nice spongy black foam. This stuff is great. All the machines that I've had on the channel, everything that was packaged in either this black or white spongy foam has survived the shipping process. And right off the bat in the corner, I see these little reinforced cardboard bits to make sure that nothing that impacts the corner damages the machine. I'm gonna get these bits out of the way along with the foam, because I already need to start pulling some of the components out. This is going to be the first piece, if I get it flipped right side around, is going to be part of the eye-friendly guard or cover for the machine. And underneath these panels is yet more foam to make sure that the machine arrives to my doorstep safe and sound. I'm gonna get the rest of the components placed out on the table and we'll check everything out. So far, the packaging of the machine is spot on. I don't think I'm going to have any issues with any damaged parts inside. Here's our first look inside the box. We can just see parts of the machine. Looks like it's mostly already assembled. And what I really wanted to show you is all these different compartments that have all the little bits and pieces that are included with the machine. Everything is nicely separated, making sure it doesn't get damaged during the shipping process. The iEngrave that I have includes the eye-friendly cover. We're going to see that each panel includes a sticker for the proper orientation, and all of my panels still have the protective film on them, making sure that they don't get scratched. We're going to see that they went one step further, and anytime there was a fastener or a bracket, they peeled the protective film back first. This is going to save a lot of time during the assembly. The laser machine also includes an exhaust fan and exhaust hose. And there's a number of accessory bags. Most of them are labeled, and the ones that aren't are pretty obvious, like the USB cable or safety glasses. Here we get our first look at the laser module. This is going to be a 10-watt laser module. This is our first good look at the iEngrave. It is an all-metal construction with linear rails. It is belt-driven and has a number of safety features on it that we're going to be checking out a little bit later on in the video. We're also going to see, to hold this securely in place so it's not damaged during shipping, there's going to be a holding bracket. There's going to be one of these on each side of this bracket to hold it securely in place. And lastly, here's those cards that were in the envelope that we saw when I first opened up the box to the iEngrave. Well, it definitely looks like there's going to be some assembly to do, but that's mainly going to be on the eye-friendly cover over in this area. If I was looking at just the iEngrave by itself, it's really mainly just fitting the laser module up to the machine. And the machine already has all of the cables neatly routed throughout the machine. While I get the eye-friendly protective cover assembled and installed on the machine, I'm going to go through some of the tech specs on the iEngrave. I have the fasteners and the brackets unpackaged so that I can start assembling the cover and getting it installed on the machine. One thing I don't see though is a paper copy of the instructions on how all of that goes together. I went and found the SD card with the included USB reader. I checked that out on my computer, and while it does contain the software for running the machine, there is no manual on how to put the cover together. So I went back to that envelope that was on the very top of the box, grabbed one of the cards and scanned the QR code, and that's where I found the instructions on how to put the cover together and, of course, install it on the machine. The LokLik iEngrave is a budget-friendly machine with a price target of between $400 and $560 US, depending on what package you select with your machine. The machine I have features a 10-watt laser module that is perfect for detailed engraving and some cutting. The work area comes in at 300 by 300 millimeters, and freedom units that's 11.8 by 11.8 inches. The machine is capable of speeds of up to 500 millimeters per second. The eye-friendly enclosure comes with an air assist pipe connection. There's also multiple safety features like flame detect, over temperature, and even tilt shutdown. The machine has low noise, making it nearly whisper quiet to run. The updated laser module is perfect for engraving detail down to 0.02 millimeters. That's really nice and precise. When it comes to running the machine, there's a number of different software packages I can use, including the LokLik mobile phone app, the free laser gerbil software, or my favorite, Lightburn software. You do have to pay to use Lightburn software, however, you can get a 30-day free demo version of the software. Connection can be made by USB cable, Wi-Fi, and SD card. The assembly of the cover and installation of the cover on the machine went along very easily. In fact, I think I spent more time moving the camera around for all of you than I did actually turning screws, assembling everything together. Now, speaking of easy, the machine does boast an easy setup with only 6 steps. Number 1, as we already saw, was assembling the cover. Number 2 is installing it onto the machine. Number 3 is really simple, and that's just simply turning the power switch on the front. Number 4 is going to be getting the software from the computer connected up to the machine. And don't forget, there's still that option of using the LokLik app with your mobile device. Number 5 is setting the focus of the laser down to the work material. Built into the laser module itself is going to be a little leg that folds down, and we use that to set the focus of the laser. We'll see that in just a minute when we start the first project. And number 6 is exactly that, is starting projects and just simply enjoying the machine. There's certainly a lot more highlights and features on this machine, and if you'd like to check that out in detail, I'll have some links down in the video description for you. In just a second or two, I'm going to be taking the computer with Lightburn software and connecting it up to the laser machine. Before I do that, I just want to be fully transparent with you and let you know about a couple of things that I'm doing in the background here. Number 1 is I did install my own piece of honeycomb in the machine because we are going to be doing some cutting on the sample projects. I do recommend, if you plan on doing any type of cutting, make sure you get the machine with a piece of honeycomb. And the second thing, and it's pretty invisible, but I want to let you know, the other end of the exhaust hose, I do have a longer run in the studio here, so I am going to be running an inline exhaust fan booster just to make sure that I evacuate all of the smoke and fumes out of the machine very quickly. It's going to keep the air in the shop here or the recording studio much cleaner, and it's also going to keep the inside of the machine cleaner so I can spend more time creating projects and less time doing maintenance and cleaning on the machine. Turning my attention back over to the computer, in the background, I took the SD card that's currently installed in the machine. I took all of those files and I copied them into the computer because there's going to be 1 or 2 files that we'll need when I connect Lightburn up to the machine, and let's check that out now. Let's start out by checking out the files that are on the included SD card. The first file, and probably the most important one, has to do if you've never connected a laser machine up to your computer. There's going to be a driver file called CH340 that needs to be installed. Without that, the computer will not be able to connect up to the laser machine, and it's not going to matter if you're using Lightburn or Laser Gerbil. The other file is going to be for those of us who are using Lightburn software, and that file is right here. And what that file is it's a device profile, and that's going to tell Lightburn software everything it needs to know about this laser machine. Inside Lightburn, I'm now ready to configure Lightburn software up to the laser machine. I'll click on Devices, and instead of Find My Laser, I'm going to click on Import, and we're going to use that device profile file that we just took a look at. Once again, that file's located right here. I'll click on that and then Open, and then click on OK, and it automatically switches over to that, and from here, I'm now ready to start my projects. With that supplied device profile, it's really that quick and easy to connect Lightburn software up to the iEngrave. And just to double check that everything's working correctly, I'm going to take the box drawing tool and draw a big box in the middle, and I've hit the home button so that the machine knows where it's starting, and now I'll hit the frame button and see if we've got some movement on the machine, which we do. Now it's time to have some fun with the machine and check it out in action. For this, I'm going to use some of the sample materials included with the machine. We'll do a little bit of engraving and some cutting on it. This material looks like it's about 2.5, maybe 3 millimeters thick, or about 1/8 of an inch for those of us using Freedom units. After I'm done with this material, I'm going to switch over to something a bit bigger like this 3/8 of an inch thick solid pine board, which is going to be about 10 millimeters thick. So the first thing I'll do is I'll load in some graphics and put some settings in there, and we'll get started with the first project. All right, it's been a few minutes later, and I've imported this picture that I made a while ago of a cat in a suit holding the Ace of Spades. I've got that set up as an image, and we'll check out those settings right now. I just threw some settings out there. We'll see how well they turn out. But I am going to be running at a speed of 150 millimeters per second with a max power of 85%. I am running this image in Jarvis mode with lines per inch of about 240, or lines per interval at 0.106. I'm also going to be cutting this out, and on this red layer, I'm going to be doing a line cut at a speed of 10 millimeters per second with a max power of 95%, with only one pass, making sure that perforation mode and tabs and bridges are cut off. I'll install my work material inside of the machine, and we'll check out setting the focus on the iEngrave. I'm using my favorite red magnets to hold the work material securely in place. Now, to set the focus, there's a little dial or knob on the side here. I simply pivot that down, and maybe we can see it, but there's a little arm that swings down, and I'm going to lower the laser head down until that arm just touches the work material. That looks good, and I can tighten it back up and flip that arm back out of the way, and now I'm ready to start the engraving project. How about these results, especially on the engraving? I just threw some settings out there that I thought would work good with this material and the 10-watt laser, and I think it turned out perfectly. On the cutting though, I did have to go back and add a second pass to make sure that it cut cleanly through, but everything's looking good, and let's get started on our second project with that thick pine board. Well, this turned out really great, and did you catch it while it was engraving? I know I did. It was actually engraving upside down, and that's because I forgot one step when I was setting up Lightburn software, so let's get that fixed right now. And maybe when I engraved that upside down, I did that purposely because it would be a good segue into this last step of getting software set up on the machine. For this, we're going to navigate over to Edit, Device Settings, and we're going to switch the origin that's defaulted right here up to this upper corner. That is why this engraved upside down. Next, we're going to really have some fun. I'm going to do a much larger engraving project on this piece of solid pine, and then we're also going to cut through it. It is going to take several passes, but I think this 10-watt machine is definitely up to the task. Just like before, I've got my wood blank loaded into the machine. I have my red magnets kind of boxing it in so my work material doesn't move around during the engraving process. I've set the focus of the laser just as I did before, and let's check out the graphic that I'll be using for this project number 2. I'll zoom in a little bit and we'll see that I've got a happy little fox sitting by a campfire drinking some coffee. I have this set up as an engraving layer, and the red layer is set up as a cut layer, so yep, we will be engraving and cutting that thick solid pine board. And let's check out the settings that I'm using for the engraving. I'm going to be going 125 millimeters per second with a max power of 90%. I have constant power mode on, bidirectional, and lines per inch at about 240, and overscan is on at about 5%. And I'm going to be filling or engraving all shapes at once. Now for that cutout, I'm going to be slowing down to 5 millimeters per second with a power level of 95%, and I have upped the number of passes or the number of times it's going to try that cutout, move that up to 3, which is a very common thing to do. If I add more passes, I get a cleaner, deeper cut versus trying to get it all in one pass. This all looks good, and I'll hit the start button and we'll watch another video montage of this project number 2 being made. The second project turned out great. I have all of the engraving detail I was looking for and a nice clean cut through this 3/8 inch thick solid pine board. These two projects were a lot of fun, and most of all, they were easy, and I think that's what LokLik is striving for when they made the iEngrave, and I think they did a great job of it. This is just a smooth and easy machine to use, and as we heard during the video montage of the two projects, this thing really is very quiet. In fact, it's the aftermarket inline exhaust fan that I've got off camera that made most of the noise during the projects. The included light bar that I've got mounted to the ceiling of the machine does a great job of lighting up the area so that I can see what's going on. And of course, the eye-friendly guard makes sure that my eyes are protected. And it also makes sure that all of the smoke and fumes generated by the projects stay inside of the machine and very quickly get evacuated out with the exhaust hose. Personally, I also really like the look of the machine itself. It has a nice contemporary look, and I really love that on the cover, everything is very nice and smooth. And that carries over to the base frame of the machine. Once again, it's all metal and there's no sharp edges on both the outside and the inside of the machine. There's going to be a couple things that I would recommend if I want to get the most out of my laser machine. The first one being the honeycomb. We saw that I'm using my own. It's great, and it's also magnetic, which is a great way to help keep the projects in place during the engraving process. The second thing that I'd recommend would be the air assist kit. This machine is air assist ready. There's a port on the side to run the air line inside, and the laser head does have the air port and air tube already installed. And lastly, I recommend getting an inline exhaust fan to complement the exhaust fan that's already on the machine, especially if you're running an exhaust hose that's longer than what's included with the machine. Thanks for joining me in this video. I had a lot of fun creating today's video, from getting the machine set up to getting the software connected, and of course creating the 2 fun little projects. Don't forget to show this video some love by giving it a like, subscribe to the channel, or ring that notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help this channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect content like this with other great viewers just like you. And until we meet again in the next video, learn, create, and share.